Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Sounds like Karen from our first story shot herself in the foot. I'm honestly a bit surprised that she didn't make a grab for your weapon, OP. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. How an entitled Karen went from, "My kids are in the car waiting for me," to, "He has a gun, call the police." Well, this is not the experience I thought I'd have on my way home from the office this afternoon, but alas, here we are. While enduring my afternoon commute, I decided to stop at the old WM to pick up some cat food to avoid having to do it over the weekend. I usually make a point to shop at Bullseye to avoid the WM tomfoolery, but WM was closer and I was tired. I walk in and immediately experience the cacophony of Boxing Day that I'd completely forgotten about. The customer service desk line was past Subway and down into menswear, and the checkouts were an absolute nightmare. I had half a mind to turn around and leave, but I resigned to tolerating it now than dealing with a potentially worse situation on Saturday. I made a beeline for the pet section, find the biggest bag of the brand I'm keen on, hoist it over my shoulder, and off the checkout I went. As I made my way over, I glanced past the employee station sections and peeked at self-checkout, which was even more of a mess. I decided to interact with another human in WM for the first time in months. As I'm standing in line, I eye a Red Bull in the cooler at the end cap and snag one. I'm perhaps the third or fourth person in line at the lovely 10, maybe 20 items or less line, a limit that people love to test on an hourly basis. But I digress. It was moving at a decent enough speed for a day like today. I worked in retail and retail management for a collective 6 years, so I pride myself on being one of the most patient and understanding customers on the East Coast. The Karen behind me, however, was not. She had a shopping cart parked too close to my butt for my liking and frequently sighed and tapped her foot on the bottom section of her shopping cart, from the sound of it anyway, and tisked and tutted regularly. The cashier summons the next person in line, and now there's a single soul ahead of me. Karen huffs and puffs again and inches forward, bumping me with her shopping cart. I half turn and glance at the shopping cart, then at her, giving her a neutral eyebrow raise, hoping she'd get the hint and take a step or two back. Spoiler alert, she didn't. And so it begins. Our cast: Entitled Karen, C. Cashier, SH Shopper, SM Store Manager, AP Asset Protection, PO Police Officer, me. Karen: Excuse me. Me. Silence. Karen, slightly louder: Excuse me. Me, turned slightly, cat food still hoisted over my shoulder. Me: Huh. Karen: Yes, could you let me in front of you? I'm tired of waiting. Me glances into Karen's shopping cart. I only have 2 things. I'll be quick. Karen: Yeah, but I'm tired of waiting. This line is ridiculous. Me: Well, I can't help that, sadly. Karen: You kids have no respect for your elders. Me: I'm 26 years old. I'm hardly a kid. And you look about 36. You're hardly what I'd consider an elder. And you're certainly not mine. Karen: Wow, rude much? I just asked to get in front of you in line. Me: Yes, and I heard you perfectly fine. Look, with respect, if our roles were reversed, I'd totally let you, but you have a cart full of things while I only have 2. Please, I'm just trying to wait for my turn in peace. Karen: Your cat can wait. My kids are in the car waiting for me. Me: Not a me problem. Hope they have supervision. Karen emits some sort of guttural growl or sneer. At this point, the customer/shopper in front of me turns his head slightly to glance behind him and glances at the large bag of cat food over my shoulder. Shopper: Hey man, do you want to go ahead of me? Me: Nah, that's all right. You've been waiting longer than me. Thanks though, I appreciate it. Karen: I'll go if he won't. Shopper: I wasn't speaking to you. Karen: Why, I never, emitting more guttural noises. The customer ahead of me took his turn with the cashier, and I, now mildly exhausted from having a 20-something pound bag of cat food over my shoulder, bent forward to prop it against the checkout conveyor belt, since the customer in front of me had it loaded with his items. It's worth mentioning at this point of the story that I have a license to carry, and always do, a 9mm compact and an IWB holster in the back of my pants. What I didn't realize was that when I bent forward, my bomber jacket lifted enough to reveal enough to determine what was tucked securely away. Karen: You have a gun. Me. Silence with an eye roll. Karen, he has a gun! He has a gun! Me. I have a license to carry it. Will you be quiet and mind your business? Karen, he threatened to shoot me. Help! I need a manager. Someone call the police. Now the entire front end of the store is looking over in our direction, and I honestly just wanted to sink into the disgusting linoleum and fall into oblivion. The cashier rolls her eyes and picks up the phone to summon asset protection and the store manager. AP arrives on the scene first, with the manager arriving a few moments later. AP, what seems to be the problem here? Karen, that guy has a gun and he threatened to shoot me. Me, oh my lord. AP, ma'am, please calm down. Sir, what's the issue? Me, I didn't threaten to shoot her. I've been waiting in line minding my business. AP, sir, if you have a gun, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the store. We do not allow guns in here. Me, there's no posted signage stating this fact, but that's fine. I'd like to get away from her anyway. Karen, no, I want him arrested. He threatened to kill me. Me, I did not. Karen, you're a effing liar. You threatened to kill me. Me, you're insane and a negligent parent. Miss, my kids are in the car. Karen, how dare you bring my kids into this? Store manager, excuse me, I'm the store manager here. What's going on? AP, this woman claims this man has a gun and is threatening to shoot her. I just asked him to leave. Cashier, he barely said a word to her. Shopper, yeah, he's been standing in line quiet and she's been harassing him about taking his place in line. He didn't threaten to shoot her. He's barely said anything to her. AP, still, you can't have guns in the store. You need to leave or I'll call the police. SM, excuse me, I don't see a gun. Sir, what's happened? Me, I leaned down to put a bag of cat food down since I got tired of holding it and my jacket must have lifted and revealed my gun. I have a license to carry and it was concealed. SM, we don't allow open carry. Concealed carry is allowed in accordance with our state regulations. Sir, may I please ask to see your LTC? Me, opens wallet, hands over LTC. SM, hands it back after looking at it. Looks like you to me. I apologize for the inconvenience. AP, meet me in the staff room in 5 minutes. It seems we need to review our policies and guidelines before you ask customers to leave unnecessarily. Karen, no, I want him arrested. He's threatening to kill me and my children. Aren't you listening? Well, someone in the store must have called the police because a second later a police officer approached just as Karen finished screeching. The store manager explained the situation to the officer, who then heard from the cashier and the shopper in line in front of me, verified my LTC, and dismissed me. Me, officer, forgive me, it may not be my business, but Karen told me she left her children in the car. I don't know how old they are, but given the fact that this nonsense took up God knows how long, someone might want to check on those kids. Officer, turning to Karen, excuse me? Ma'am, I'm going to need to escort you to your vehicle. Karen began another tirade of screaming and arguing and ended up being removed from the store by the police officer. I don't know what happened to her or the kids. Maybe the kids were of age and could be left alone, but given her appearance and the impression I got from her, they most likely were kids that shouldn't be left alone. And our next story. I'm sorry, but this car belongs to me. I'm 20 and bought a car myself. I insure it myself. I pay for all my own gas and maintenance and everything. I'm temporarily living at home and my parents wanted me to give them the spare car key so they could move the car if it was in the way ever. I said okay. It turns out when I've been out or not paying attention, they've been lending my car to my sister who's 17 and has a minor's driving license. I told them that wasn't okay to have done without asking me, plus I told my sister to stop taking my car out. I don't like her driving it because I don't have my car insured for a minor driving it. And what if she crashes? Plus, even though I'm hardly going out, I don't like seeing my car missing with no warning randomly. Anyway, my sister's used my car several times since then. I think my parents let it slide. They know she's doing it even though I don't like it. I asked for my keys back and they said it would be too inconvenient to not have them because we have to double park in our driveway and sometimes cars need to be moved. So I made a plan. I put an old cell phone in the glove box on a charger and I installed a track my child sort of app on the phone so I could see where it was going. So when I saw my car gone one day, I called my friend who picked me up and we went to where the car was. It was parked in the downtown area of the city on the street. I took it back with my keys and we drove it to my friend's house to hide it. Then my friend dropped me off back home. My parents got a call later that day from my sister panicking, saying she was stranded in the city, she'd lost the car. They drove out to get her, and they all came home. I started asking questions like, what were you doing with the car? Did you lock it? Are you sure? Did you misremember where you parked? You sure it's stolen? And my sister was freaking out, like saying she was sure she locked it and was sure of where she parked it and was stolen. I was like, well, maybe you know how I feel having my car stolen with no warning all the time. It sucks, right? You go expecting the car to be somewhere and it's gone. She was like, but that's different. It was just me driving. You know the family has keys. And I was like, you know I have keys, right? I'm sure it'll turn up somewhere. My sister and parents realized I had the car by then, and my sister was furious for stranding her in the city at night, for making her think for a long time that the car had been carjacked, etc. My parents are also pissed that I didn't think of her safety when I left her without a way home. Edit, to explain about the safety thing, I took the car back in the early afternoon. I didn't expect her to be out till nighttime. It wasn't a sketchy area. The area was a rich butt neighborhood that's always crawling with cops. There were always gas stations and convenience stores open all night that she could have gone into to wait. I'm a young woman myself. I went to college near that area, and I never had any trouble out there late and alone. Being stuck there would be inconvenient, but not really sketchy. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.